Hello, and finally, an official good evening from Finland. I'm Madhu. I'm the VP of Marketing at AIESEC in Finland in the local committee Helsinki. And together with my team, including Tina, Niruta, Fung, Quinn, and Lynn, who are somewhere here on the chat, I want to warmly welcome you all today for joining us in this discussion on a very important topic, self-development with community networks and volunteership. Although often underrated, we at AIESEC feel that a lot can be achieved through just self-awareness, leadership, and empowerment. That's why we have put together quite many valuable topics for you today, which is the future skills, the power of volunteership, how to ensure and navigate towards your first job, inclusive leadership, powered by community and networks, all put together in a nutshell by our talented speakers today, who are themselves pioneers in each of these topics, and they will guide you through it, not me. So stay tuned. So moving on, I'll just walk you through our agenda for the day since you have invested an hour with us. So we will start with a little bit of introduction on AIESEC, and then we move on to the real deal, our speaker presentations. And in between, we will introduce a very important project recently launched by AIESEC in Finland, which we are very proud of because it involves building bridges and also inclusive leadership and integration into Finnish society, which is SILTA. And then we will have an open round of discussion and questions where you can place your questions to the speakers. All right, I think we can move on. Start with a small video about AIESEC. Many of you who are AIESECers, this is a good way to refresh your memory and feel proud of what you're doing. And for everyone new, hope this inspires you and hope you learn a little bit about AIESEC.
Every generation gets the chance to shape the world. But the challenges faced today are becoming more complex with the pace of economic, social, and technological change. The world is defined by the people who live in it. So we believe the solution is to develop responsible, entrepreneurial, and skilled young leaders today who will make a positive impact for our future. Since 1948, we've been providing young people with practical leadership experiences across the world, where they have the freedom to fail and the chance to overcome challenges they face. A space where they can discover what really matters to them and realize their potential for the future. We give young people a chance to see the world, because if you can see it, then you can start to understand it. And if you understand it, then you can start to change it. For over 70 years, we've provided more than 1 million young people with life-changing opportunities together with like-minded organizations. But we can't stop now. Because only when we create more of these leadership stories together will we truly see a remarkable impact on the world. History has shown us what just one great leader can do. So imagine what a billion great leaders could do. This is why we do what we do for youth.
I love that video myself. It's quite inspiring.
Every generation gets the chance to shape the world.
Sorry about that. Yes, so here we are. So we are AIESEC, a global non-for-profit youth leadership organization, and we are currently present in over 114 countries. We create experiences through many leadership projects because we want the youth to develop their leadership qualities, mostly in 4 important pillars that are empowering others, be solution-oriented, be self-aware, and become a world citizen, which is also why we are here today, because we will be discussing more on these topics. And of course, we create these experiences through practical projects and challenging environments, one of which is SILTA, about which we will also talk with you guys today. Yeah, but I think that is it from my side. And if you are interested, do visit AIESEC in Finland, and you can also volunteer to be a member. So check out Join AIESEC in Finland.
Yeah, I think you have heard my voice enough. I will stop sharing and open the floor for our speakers. And first up, we have Camilla, of course. So I don't know what to say. Like, Camilla is an international public speaker, a diversity inclusion expert, and also a mentor and coach. And frankly, we couldn't think of a better person to come and speak about this topic with everyone, because she's already training executive educators and like even students all over the world through her award-winning community building approach, and even like boosting their life experiences, navigate them in the job market. So I don't have enough adjectives to describe such a talented and warm person she is. So Camilla, here is, I open the floor. You can go ahead, and we are looking forward to hear what you have for us today.
Thank you, Madhu. Thank you so much. So hyvää ilta in Finnish, and assalamu alaikum to my international community. And such a pleasure to be here. And I want to start by saying that, you know, this is an hour where I'm also really present, you know, virtual present with you. It gives me so much energy because every time you share your story, you know what you're doing and why you're doing, and it's so valuable. So this topic today is on leadership, it's on connection, it's on interaction and believing your potential. And thank you for starting the Silta project. I'm so passionate and excited how it's going to start in Finland. So I want to ask people right now quickly, which community has been so important for you during the last year? Which one community has been important for you to stay sane and stay connected? You can just write in comments, and I will start by answering my question. This question myself is that there's been my family, that's been my community, International Working Women of Finland, which is a women community in Finland on Facebook. Third is my volunteer communities. It's the Global Dignity that I'm part of across the world in 80 countries. We are on WhatsApp. And then my Uzbek volunteer community in Telegram. So I have lots of channels which kept me going. So tell me now, which community kept you going? Of course, AIESEC. This is so nice. AIESEC community, artists around the world, okay? Family in AIESEC, yes. AIESEC Entrepreneurship Society, yes, in Helsinki, great. Family and friends, all right. More family, friends, and AIESEC, nice trio. And workplace, Sophia, this is great. I think your workplace is special, which we're going to hear in a bit. And yeah, Joensuu Entrepreneurship Society. So Joensuu is Eastern Finland. So for those who don't know, there's a lot of student entrepreneurship societies which are really thriving and becoming a go-to community spaces. This is really great. Okay. 191 community. Okay, where is that from? 191, is that in Finland? Yeah. Okay, Tao has similar to mine. Family International Women at Work in Finland. Yes, perfect. Perfect. So yeah, so we are aware that yes, if it's a workplace, like Sophia said, it's a privilege, but not all of us have those workplaces which are really like community spaces, but we're working towards it. And I think here, the volunteer sector, the change maker sector has a big focus to really make a change. So I'll share my presentation in a minute, but at any point in time, please just write chat and questions, agree, disagree, and add something. So I want to really, if there's something that's come on your mind, don't keep it until the end, okay? So let's see if this works from the beginning. And I'll share the screen and I'll present it. So can you see my screen, Madhu?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So there's two of me. Okay. All right. So I will go quickly. So say what volunteering has done with my life and what impact it made on my life and what you can learn from it. We will talk about the volunteering's value of networking and having this ability cross-culturally communicating. Why volunteering is a smart career move strategy at this moment, at any moment in the future. And then the last thing is that how you can future-proof your leadership skills. What are some of the qualities that you need to nurture in Finland and beyond? And yes, and I really hope that we will have a short Q&A at the end. So just to say, I'm from Uzbekistan. I was an international student in Denmark. So I spent half of my life in the world's happiest nations, that is Denmark and Finland. But I always had a struggle to belong to one place because, I was born to think inferior because of the color of my skin. Okay, I look a bit white now, but I'm much darker in average in Uzbek culture. You always want to be white. Then in Denmark, I felt I was feeling too exotic, and there was a time of Islamophobia, and coming from Uzbekistan wasn't always a positive experience. So my experiences made me to volunteer because I wanted to open up and get into societies where I didn't feel welcome. And to build the community was something that is profound, which I had no idea that, you can serve, you can help others, and that kind of comes back to you. So why I have the shipping containers here is that I studied communication. I graduated from master in Aarhus University, but I got a job in container trading. So secondhand container trading was the only thing I could get in the first financial crisis in 2009. And I spoke Russian, and I started working in a logistics field completely unknown to me. Then I turned into change maker because every time I was working in shipping companies, both container trading and tanker shipping, I felt that there's something missing. I'm still not the whole person in this workplace. So for me, activating my interests and working on as an activist to promote immigrants' rights, promote international student rights on the job market, and promote this whole intercultural dialogue was really something that spoke to me, and I could feel I'm sharing that voice and being the voice of others. And that didn't come by itself. You can see here, it's a really busy slide, but something that really spoke to me is that because mentors and teachers saw it in me, I wanted to also make sure that other people could benefit from it. And so when I moved to Finland, I was working in Maersk Line. I still wanted to be active. So I started doing these global dignity events. Here is I'm meeting Barack Obama. This is all with the whole experiences that I've done for over 10 years. Belonging, learning how the society works, how to advocate for where something is, there's lack of social justice and lack of, there is discrimination, and it's just not fair that some people get opportunities and some people are just have a barrier. Yeah. And so whenever people mob me and say, well, it's an unpaid job, I say, you know what, but you get these crazy experiences and, working alongside amazing young leaders across the world, across Europe, and meeting such amazing personalities that you kind of know that when you're an activist, when you're getting up there in the weekends and do events, when you do, rallies and whatever political campaigning, all kinds of volunteering, it really serves the purpose of, active community building. So here in Finland, we did this global dignity youth empowerment events. Here you see in the corner, Tanja Lankia, my co-founder, where I moved to Finland. I was like, I have no language of Finnish, language knowledge of Finnish skills. I knew only my husband and his friends. And so we met each other at the Nordic Business Forum, and we said, well, why don't we start the global dignity events and have a speaker events for young people. And in Finland, we know that Finnish education is world's best. But what came as a surprise is that a lot of young people don't feel the same feeling of equality or feeling of belonging and, feeling that you have equal chances in the job and the future. So here we're in a Nokia office where they had supported Dreams Festival. And they said that later, when we did these different projects, we said that there's actually 70,000 people of young people under age 30 are not in job and training and in or any kind of education. And this was a bit alarming for a small country like Finland, that there are so many people outside the loop. And what does that make think about you who are listening to this? You speak several languages. You have traveled to several countries. Okay, maybe not yet from Uzbekistan class, but you have already the awareness of different cultures and different opportunities that exist for you, even if you come from Vietnam, Brazil, Netherlands, Bosnia. And that makes you much more privileged, and you are needed in that space of education in Finland, because they are so limited in awareness of what they can do with their lives, or that Finland is not a space for them that they belong. And this is why we did this art exhibit with New York based organization, that this is Finland 2050 and we all want to belong regardless how we look. And these are actually young people across Helsinki schools. Those are one of the best art projects, street art I could do. And you can actually bring this street art organization to your country. So just hashtag inside out and you can find out how to engage. It's super doable. Yeah, so we trained young speakers in different schools across Helsinki to share their story, to share their voice. And this teacher here, Tarja Arreksen, and she's my hero because I owe this whole idea of empowering young people through teachers like her, because they believe me, even if I don't speak the language, if I don't come from Finland, they treat me as a capable way to contribute as a volunteer, because volunteering is very highly respected here in Finland and they recognize it on your CV. So it was really great to work like for 4 years. And now all these experiences I used in my consulting today, because it gives me a beautiful way of recognizing community, recognizing capable people who are, also a lot of training hundreds of volunteers during last 4 years, actually 5 years. So yeah, so I work today with cities, municipalities. I work with universities. This is one of the projects that I've just finished. And this is also to international students. I always say that you need to volunteer and build your own inclusivity, your own belonging in a society, because it only gives you back in the end. So that's just a few pictures of other volunteering options I have in Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan with a female voice is a webinar-based way to cooperate across diasporas and local Uzbeks. This is Global Dignity now also active in Uzbekistan, so that we don't just keep this engagement in Finland, but now they have their own Karshi Bukhara network where they can also discuss and learn about their dignity. So, but I want to tell you a quick story about youth experiment in where was it? In Hervanta. Hervanta is a small suburb outside Tampere. And we went to a youth center with Citra Lab. So Citra Lab has been learning about Finnish youth and child inequality, rising child and youth inequality. And we took young people, we gave them these post-it notes. So there were 4 post-it notes. One said, please stand in the corner if you feel that you're from Hervanta. Second said, please stand in that corner if you're from Tampere. The third note said, please stand in left corner if you are from Finland. And the fourth one said, please stand in the right corner if you are from Europe. Yeah. And the last post-it was about being a world citizen. You follow me? So we asked them, please stand, where is your identity? Where do you belong? And majority of young people, Finnish with immigrant background, they said they stood in a Hervanta corner, you see, small Hervanta community. They did not feel that they belonged to Finland. They did not feel they even belonged to a bigger city. They did not feel they belonged to Europe. So I was shocked to see that how much your identity, your understanding, thinking so small can limit your ideas, can limit your potential. And so this is where I see you as, as AIESEC young students going out there, coaching students in Finnish schools. You grow their capacity, you grow their way of understanding themselves, and like, hey, you are from Finland, you have the whole world out there, and you can also become creator, not just consuming opportunities, but you could create opportunity for others. So with that understanding and working with global dignity and volunteering, it really explained to me that we need to nurture diversity and inclusion from education early start. And we can all do it on different levels, on city, on national, on education and business and NGO level. But as young people, I believe in the power of communities, and I believe in power of youth spirits, yeah? So yeah, and in that sense, when you go into schools and they trust you the task that you will do an event for them or give a workshop on whatever interests you, right? Or whatever skills that you want to share, it gives you this expanded idea that you immerse yourself in a community outside Helsinki, outside your known environment, and you build your own context and relevance. So what does it mean, own context and relevance? It means that when you need to get from A to B and you know the map, you know the shortcuts, you know how easy you feel, right? You feel like, oh man, I'm a fish in my own pond. I know how to navigate this environment. But when you don't know the rules of the society, or you feel like, oh, nobody wants to hear from me, or nobody wants to do anything with me, you feel limited, right? So this is why when you expand your network, you expand your interactions and your experiences of success, that, hey, I did this event, everyone is happy. I did that task and my team lead is happy, we're together happy. You build that expanded identity that you can do so many more things rather than just being a student or being a worker. You're also a change maker as a volunteer. And so that gives you what? Confidence, it gives you safety, that feeling of inclusion. And at the end, it gives you joy. We need to have fun. We can't always like grind all the school books and stuff, you know? So that was really a profound experience on me. And then last year, COVID came. We are in the second year of this pandemic. And I decided to study Finnish community building. So what is it that makes people like belong, and how do you build a community? And these like strategies to build yourself in anywhere where you are. It doesn't mean you need to be you can only do it in Finland. You do it yourself anywhere in any community. And it's one step is basically get your curiosity out there, and someone needs to basically inspire you, or you get inspired from another source of, you know, something from this lecture, or there was another book, or you saw someone, a teacher, a mentor. Then the second thing is that you activate that curiosity and to put it into action. All of these interviews that I did in 16 episodes is that they say that you need to be part of a community that has a structure, and you contribute with a beginning and an end. You don't begin and just quit, you know, you want to really achieve something by finishing it up. And then the third step is that you actually build your identity again, that you are capable of doing so much more you didn't know you were. And when you become a part of AIESEC, most of you are, then you build up a community of teachers or young business professionals or young European leaders, young Asian leaders, young Uzbek leaders. You see what I mean? So you grow your confident and conscious. And that makes you feel like, I will show you here the thick skin. The thick skin is a bonus because at the moment, unfortunately, when you volunteer, you forget the differences. You're really passionate about the cause, you're together, you do stuff. But when you go to work, it's not always easy to belong to a workplace environment. Everyone wants to be inclusive, but they are not inclusive. So what you gain by volunteering, you gain a thick skin to know that even if you're not feeling always happy at your workplace, you know there's better cultures out there and better communities that make you feel that you can be the whole person, who you are. So that's a very important thing to keep. Let me see if I can move it like this. Yeah. And so on why volunteering is a smart career strategy, it's because at any point in time, you use the skills from volunteering to put it on your CV. Like I said, employers recognize that. If they don't recognize that, you need to drive that argument that it's really good for you. It's good for the employer to know your experiences and how to validate your responsibility, your accountability, and your drive. And it also, from my shipping experience, I used to do a lot of sales. I used to sell containers to big companies. And because I work already in an international environment, it helped me to navigate these different cultures, know how to deal with Indian people, how to deal with Dutch people. I used to travel a lot to Rotterdam, Amsterdam, and it was amazing to use volunteering to also to do good at job, right? And do my sales. And the network that I have today among school teachers and schools in Helsinki, I bring them to big events like you see in the corner. We had an innovation conference with Ministry of Economic Affairs in Helsinki, and I brought them in and they felt so included, like, oh wow, we can be, share our voices. What does it mean to have innovation, to build innovation in Europe? So it's really about building your network. You showcase it out there, you build your brand by knowing that you actually do something and you can do something until the end. And in Finland, there's only 20 to 30 jobs that are advertised. So you need to really work out how you break the stereotypes. Because I have black hair, because my last name is Sultanova, there are some people will think, oh, she probably doesn't speak Finnish. Well, I'll tell you what, I speak better Finnish than you think, right? So you're always in that loop of showcasing who can lead innovation, who can work in whatever environment. And so for me, there are so many benefits of connecting volunteering to entrepreneurship, volunteering for inclusion, volunteering for all different change-making paths. You can build a career based on your volunteering experiences. Now, it brought me to become a change maker, which is a between speaker and a social entrepreneur. In Finland, there is a Scouts organization. 60,000 members are members of this volunteer organization. A lot of these people are gonna be future politicians. Look at at the moment, they're assistants to ministers, Finnish ministers. So you would never know that because you build a community of volunteers in that, you can actually become a leader of a country just because you are connected to that. So think about that seriously. What is connected to entrepreneurship? We know that now entrepreneurship is a good path to consider because not many jobs are coming back. Is that you always have a self-starter mentality. You're fearless, like Madhu and Tran and all the others who are here. You have the resilience, even if they don't reply, Madhu will reply or send an email again and again and again. And you have the obsession with the cause. If you believe in this, every startup will succeed if they believe in their cause and they go after their customer. So, and what volunteering gave me as well is that I couldn't get the job of my dream for many years, but it gave me ways of thinking alternative about success, thinking ways how I can turn this experience to something beneficial in the end, yeah? And what is also very deep is that you turn from consumer to creator, not just consume, I just want a better paid job, but you also unlock opportunities for others. I think that's amazing. So the last part of this PowerPoint is to what you want to look at your leadership skills. How do you future-proof yourself? What do you need to know? And I think a lot of you know what you need to know. So I kind of tweaked it a bit rather than giving you some trends of, World Economic Forum. You can all study that. But I want to give you this whole, the three main ideas that will bring you to your best leader. And that's taken out of my work experience, my conversations with future leaders, with big personalities across Europe, across the world. And this to the left is the best, he's the winning youth worker of the year. His name is Sabi. He says you can't be selfish if you want to build a community. So you need to also embrace universal sense of identity, not just think, okay, I'm Uzbek, or I'm Russian, or I'm Finnish, or I'm Danish. And you need to withstand the populism, racism, discrimination, divisions with thinking that you can build more together. That brings you to the second idea. The future-proofing skills is that you collaborate across differences and not make one group the culprit against the other. You really need to build togetherness on solving common challenges at work, at school. And the two funny things is that whenever you look for a job, it's an embarrassing process, but you need to stay humble, and at the same time you need to stay confident, believing in your skills. So that kind of trampoline is always something we discussed yesterday with think tank Damos Helsinki. So, and the third is the culture of dignity. I've been born and been raised to feel inferior because of so many ways of social norms in my culture, which is against any United Nations, human rights declaration or any constitution. So when I recognize that I have my self-worth of dignity, I need to treat everyone equally with sense of dignity. That is where we can really put the fundament of diversity, inclusion, and have an equitable workplace. And that really was a profound change. Had I not done volunteering, I would still probably feel that the world is so unfair. But once you get that bite, no one can prove you otherwise wrong, because I had so many experiences that world is fair, people want you to succeed, and we can treat each other better. And so to at the end is some of the latest research I found. This is from the magazine of CEOs. So it's encouraging people to volunteer at work, that it improves their communication, influencing, relationship skills. And it's so great that it comes out to CEO that they can also promote volunteer opportunities with employers and drive their corporate volunteer programs. And then the trend, another one with HR from Randstad, it says that it's to avoid burnout, you need to help people, give them choices to volunteer. So it's a future-proofing yourself to go out there, to build up that you are part of something bigger rather than your simple job. So I'm really happy that it resonates and comes out so much at the moment. And just extra for findings for you, you can screenshot this, is those great books that connect to your work, your future. The first one is on, fix your self-worth understanding to your work and life. The second one is Thinking Fast and Slow. You probably know how we work and how we think and collaborate. And the third one is the best book on visionary Bruce Mao that, brought me back home last year. And he makes my heart full, because he comes out with these ideas, how to really collaborate and lead the way that other people want to follow. Remember the RBG words. So, and then at the bottom, that's a bit localized. So the webcast on community building is available on YouTube, where I put up all the 16 episodes. For your brain hygiene, Jim Quick is the best cousin online that I have. I call him cousin because he's so friendly. So he will listen to his podcast on how to, manage the resilient and be resilient and study better, think better, work better. And then in the June, we have municipal elections in Finland. So do use your voice and vote if you can. That's very important to be part of your community and shaping your community. So yeah, to conclude, what have I told you today? Is I said, and I really hope that by having those experiences, you're stepping into your own power and easing into your change-making power as a volunteer. It is not to be ashamed of. I was ashamed, but this is not at all case in your situation. We spoke about why you need the network. We know the Finnish context, but even in any context, we need contexts that know you, that show that you can build trust to yourself and others, and you build your brand as a capable employee. And that it's a smart career strategy. It keeps you going, protects you from burnout, and also gives you that feeling of joy of being part of the global citizenship. As young people, you are there to really showcase the global citizenship and help Finnish kids succeed. And leadership skills good leadership at the moment is exception. It's exception. But if we know right now in times of COVID, we can bring us forward each other and reconsider how we can transform our leadership, our working cultures, the way we treat each other. I think that's a really great momentum for all of us. So what can I say? You can breed your own inclusivity with dignity when you volunteer. When you go out there and empower others, you include yourself, but you stay rooted. You will never be shaken. You can live and thrive with positive social impact. This is it's a big hot topic in across the world, to not only make profit, but to leave great impact as a person yourself and as a company. And then at the end, like I said, we want to live without hate. We don't want to live in racism. We want to showcase that we are global citizens. And I'm proud to be one, even though I have very proud heritage of my Uzbek roots. So thank you so much. I might have gone a bit over time, but I really hope that we can connect and it resonated with you. So please go ahead and when you have time, please do leave a review on my Facebook page.
Thank you, Camilla, so much for that inspiring keynote, and love the idea of the thick skin. I think I always had it, but now I'm going to start using it actually and telling people.
Right.
And I think you have set the ground, speaking of diversity, inclusion, and also a little bit of our project to introduce Lisa now. And for that, I will invite Lisa. So Lisa is our national head of incoming volunteer project and also upcoming president, national president of Finland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Lisa, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you so much, Camila, for this session. It was so inspiring. It was like, I feel really motivated after this. I think for all the ones that were volunteers, this like helped us a lot and just like reassure the reason what we do, the things that we're doing. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I would just like to share with you like really brief. I would like to talk about the projects that we're having in Finland. Right now. Well, as Maru mentioned in the beginning of the session of this event, AIESEC is this community, is this youth organization that we develop all the human potential. We create these experiences for youth to create leaders. So what we used to do were these exchanges. We used to have like these exchanges all around the world, so we can have like these cross-cultural experiences for the volunteers. But then what happened? We have the pandemic, we have the COVID situation coming over all, like all over the world. We are still dealing with that. So the exchanges were not possible anymore. The exchanges were not an option anymore for us to develop our potential, to have this extra experience, extra volunteer experience. So that's why we came up with this project, which is called Silta. And we were addressing some of the problems that we were able to observe here in Finland. What were the things were happening? What were the things that we needed to do as, like as an organization? And that's how Silta was born. Well, you already know what is AIESEC. Maru already showed us like a beautiful video explaining what we do, right? So what we built this project was because we focused on international networking and international experiences, but with the crisis, with this pandemic, we were not able to do it anymore. So we needed to find a way to reinvent ourselves and to actually look for alternatives to impact the youth without needing to go like to the other part of the world to actually make an impact on the community. So we understood that we can actually integrate the international students that were living already in Finland into the Finnish society, turning this exchange into the exchange in the country they were living, but in a way that they could actually share their culture in a local volunteer project. So that's how it was born. That's how Silta it's nowadays part of our daily life. That's how the projects on AIESEC in Finland are working. So it's we have these international students participating in different projects all around the different LCs, the different local committees that we have around Finland. So they can have this cultural experience, they can have this volunteer experience, and that can add more like this experience to their CV, so they can feel more prepared to become to be part of the Finnish market, right? So in a way that we can keep the international students that are here in Finland, we can keep them so they can find a job here, so they can be working, so they can increase their CV and stay here in the country, right? So this project, it's about the volunteers, about the international students going to different organizations, going to different schools, and they teach about their culture. The idea behind this is that we will going to break stereotypes that we have about different cultures. We are going to build bridges between these cultures. We can understand more about other cultures, and we can have more understanding, more global mind to the Finnish youth since they are like little kids, right? The volunteers are in direct contact with the school. They participate with the schools directly with the students. They teach everything about their country, their culture, and they share this experience with the kids. Meanwhile, they are developing themselves by having like this experience that is taking them out of their comfort zone. This project lasts for 5 weeks. Okay, it's going to be 1 week for preparation with AIESEC. This is something that we do with the volunteers. We prepare them for them to be ready for this project. And then you have 4 weeks in the school or in the organization directly with the kids, right? Directly with the children. And each week you address a new topic. It could be about migration. It could be about cultural diversity. You know, it could be specifically about your country. So there's like several topics that we address, depending, of course, on the public and depending, of course, of the school needs, right? What the volunteers do is that they go to school 3 days per week. So at the end, for these 4 weeks, they work 3 days per week. Okay. And the best part of it is like the project is totally free for the volunteers. They don't need to pay anything. They don't need to, they are not charged for any fee to be part of this. And actually, there are like some benefits that they can get from being part of this project. First of all, is the experience that you can add for the CV, is a recommendation letter that they can get from the school where they participated, as well the letter from AIESEC as well. And for example, if you are living in Helsinki and you want to participate in a project that is on Tampere, that is on Turku, that is on Oulu, then you are being offered accommodation. So you are having a place to stay because it's a different city where you live. So that, and of course, a meal is also included in this project. There are some of the benefits that you can have for being part of this project. And so just like really quick, really brief, if you want to join us, if you want to be part of this project, if you want to share your culture to the kids and be part of this school, just join here in this link, join AIESECinfinland.com/silta. Okay, so we can contact you and you can be part of this experience, right? And yes, we'll be really happy to have you here to share your culture, to hear more from you. And well, yeah, I think it's like really quick, but yeah, that's like everything that I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. And for everyone who is interested in the Silta project, we will be sharing also a feedback form in the end where you can submit your email just in case if you want us to contact with you and share more about it. But yeah, I guess we went like way over time. Sorry, Sophia, I hope you still have some more time.
No problem at all.
Okay, so now we have Sophia joining. So Sophia is a former AIESECer and alumni and also member of our national board. And she's one of the founders of Finder Seekers, a recruitment consulting company, which has hit its 3rd-year mark, I guess. So happy birthday to Finder Seekers and congratulations on that, Sophia. And she's an experienced talent strategist and also passionate about diversity, inclusion, and an AIESECer who we are really proud of. So Sophia, the stage is yours.
Wow, thank you so much, Madhu. I feel very, very humble to be speaking, first of all, after Camila. I really loved your presentation, been following you for some time. So super happy to be here and very humble as well. And thank you so much, Madhu, for inviting me. I'll start sharing my screen. So I hope you guys can see it. Is it in presentation mode right now?
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, we can see it.
Coming out now.
Yay. All right. Hey, really excited to be here. As Matu said, my name is Sofia Boss. I'm an AIESECer, so I feel like once an AIESECer, always an AIESECer. It's something that just won't leave you because it's more than just being part of an organization. It's really it is actually a mentality. It's something that you carry with you always. So very proud of that, of having that in my CV and in my background and in my personality as well. I'm pretty much like I owe everything that I have for AIESEC. It's a big statement. It's a really, really big statement, but I truly feel so. It has been a massive game changer for me personally in my life. And I'm about to share a little bit about my journey as an AIESECer and as a person, as a human being, really. Today, and my session is basically, it's going to be about how to build the match between you and the organization, and how to start your career, how to know what you really want to do, and how to really know everything about everyone. That's going to be the topic of my session, so very high expectations. First of all, in the chat, I would love to start with a question. Whom of you do you, like, which one of you, like, do you know who you are? Can you really answer the question, who are you? Are you absolutely sure what you want to do in your life? Or what do you feel about, like, do you know who you are? Yeah, Madhu said not sure, maybe, not entirely, not really, not 100%, nope. Not at all, yeah. I like to serve or help people. When people are happy, I'm happy. Yes and no. Really good answers, really good answers. I'm going to get back to that question in a couple of minutes, but really good answers. Yeah, so this is me. My name is Sofia Pals. I'm the CEO and one of the founders at Finder Seekers. We are a talent acquisition and employer branding agency. We focus on the tech and digital sector, and were founded 3 years ago. I have two other co-founders, Saku and Petra, that I love dearly, and one of them is an AIESECer as well. More about that later. But yeah, and we are currently 23 people. And we operate in Helsinki and in Tampere and in Oulu, and we are also planning on going abroad. So we have some big plans for our future. What we do at Finder Seekers is, I would say that we're a combination of people who are very passionate about people. So that's really our thing. We love people. We love people's stories, and in the end, we believe that when you have the right people in the right place, really magical things can happen. So as Camilla was mentioning in her presentation, also in Madhu's presentation about AIESEC, the world is a very, very complex place. There are so many complex things, and it's very people are very complex. It's very hard to solve the problems that we're solving at the moment. They're all about climate change, and it's about global crisis, about COVID and so on. And that's why when you have the right team, when you have the winning team, you can truly make a change in this world, but very rarely can we anymore do it alone. We can initiate change, and that's why it's so important that we have brave individuals. But to really solve something, it requires a winning team. And that's what we are doing at Finder Seekers. So in the end, we are building winning teams for our clients. I'm super happy to connect with you guys on LinkedIn, so please do add me on LinkedIn. I try to share some relevant content there, so please go and click on the link. And yeah, I'm an AIESECer, as I mentioned already. On the right-hand side, you can see my team. This was a team Unicorn. I was in AIESEC from 2011 till 2015. That was my active time, and it was truly, truly transformational. I was 20, and I was very lost with what I want to do with my life. So that's why I wanted to ask you guys, what do you want to do? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you want to do? Because I was 20 and I didn't know. The only thing I knew what I wanted to do was to have a good time, party a lot, hang out with friends, and then on the other hand, get a really, really good job. Those were my two initiatives, pretty much being 20. And I actually went to study in law school. So I was supposed to become a lawyer. That was something that was a dream of my father. It was the profession of my brother. So I kind of felt okay, maybe this is for me as well. I better go in and study law. It's a good profession. It's firm, it's solid. You will always get a job, and all these basic statements. And I started in the law school, but I kind of soon realized that I'm very lost. I don't feel like I'm very good at this. I don't feel very passionate about the subjects. I just don't feel like I would make a great lawyer. And it was very tough for me because I've always been a good student. I've always got like excellent marks. I've always been very motivated about what I study, and school has been like fairly easy because I just love to learn. I'm very curious about things. But then suddenly I had to study about patents, and I had to study about like immaterial rights and so on. And I just didn't know like if this was my thing, if I felt very passionate about it. So by accident, by a lot of like drifting around and doing stuff and trying different associations in my early uni years, I bumped into AIESEC. And it was actually my ex-boyfriend back then. He had seen in his university toilet an ad for AIESEC, and that's why he decided to join. And he brought me to some of the parties, and being, like one of my initiatives in life is to have a good time. Then I was like, oh my God, this sounds like super fun organization. Like these people are just like, fun loving, they're international. I get to speak English, I get to meet new people. And I was like, oh my God, this is super great. And that led me to my first topic of today. So how to find your place in the world, how to know what you really want to do, how to know what you're passionate about. And if I could give you 3 advice, and I feel like I'm old enough to give some advice, but take it with a grain of salt because I haven't lived for a very long time. So I don't know if my advice is any good. I probably will come back to it in 20 years and be like, Sofia, what were you talking about? But my 3 advices right now for you, if you are around 20 and a bit lost with like, what do you want to do with your life and who do you really are and what do you enjoy, is know yourself, know the others, know everyone around you, and then build a winning team for yourself. And those would be my 3 advice for you. So when talking about knowing yourself, as I said, I did very random school choices. I did anyway very random choices back then in my life because I just did them because of status or because of good profession or because of the value or like integrity or something. But it wasn't really true. I wasn't being true to myself. I didn't, because I really didn't know who I am. I did not know who I am and what do I want to do with my life. And that's the biggest reason I feel super grateful for AIESEC, because actually it was AIESEC that led me to the path of self-awareness. So only in AIESEC did I discover some things that initially shaped the person that I am and initially helped me to answer the question like, who am I and what do I really enjoy? What am I good at? And could I actually make the thing that I'm really good at my profession? Is there a way I could actually combine it? But I never got to ask these questions from myself. And I feel like later on when I look at this in life, being 30 and seeing a lot of my friends kind of struggling and realizing like, maybe I did the wrong choice with my career. Maybe I actually just don't enjoy this. Maybe I want to do something else. Or entering leadership trainings in their organizations. And this is the first time they're asked those questions. And I was lucky enough that I got to be asked those questions when I was 20. Like, oh my God, I feel like this was an incredible thing to happen when you're 20. So some things that were really meaningful for me and some things that I think like you should find online, and there are some links to some of those to those things, but this was the first one. So someone introduced me to this model where you have like 4 sections where you can that you can use to kind of like think about your own strengths. So the first one is like, what are you good at and what do you enjoy doing? This is where most of your actions should be. And if it's not, and if you feel like your career is not in this box, then please make a change, because you will spend 8 hours of your waking time working for an organization, working for something. So please make sure it's something that you're good at and you enjoy doing. Then there are things, what are you good at but don't really enjoy doing? So these are some things that, okay, like I am pretty good at math, but I don't really enjoy doing it. I don't really like it. Like it's just not my thing for some reason. It just doesn't give me the bubbly feeling inside. Then there's what would you like to learn but have no idea about. So for example, I'm kind of like at the moment, I'm a little bit passionate about handicraft. I really know I suck at them, but I kind of tried and I really enjoyed it. So I feel like, okay, this is something I could really learn about, but really interests me. And then there are things that you're not interested at all and would not like to learn. So the absolute like zero, no-go things. I realized for myself that law was kind of in the area of maybe what are you good at but don't really enjoy doing, or even what are you not interested at all and would not enjoy doing. And it was a big shock. I've used so many hours, so much time to get into that law school, and for me to realize that, oh shit, it might actually not be my thing. Really tough thing to realize in your university years. But luckily, due to AIESEC, I actually got to learn more about sales and people management and people leadership and how to treat people with dignity and how to make sure that people are finding the right opportunities and how to make sure that other people around you are succeeding. And I did realize that I'm actually pretty good at it and I really enjoy doing it. I got into leadership. I got into my own core mission, which is to make other people succeed. And when I make other people succeed, I feel like I am succeeding in an amazing way. Later on, I figured out the thing about law that I really love, which was human rights. so in the end, in my master's studies, I got into human rights. I was really passionate about it. So I knew that, okay, this is my second career that I will do at some point. I will make sure that the world is a better place for all of us. Another thing that I learned was MBTI. Maybe some of you have heard about it. It's Myers-Briggs. And I actually remember where the TI comes from. Okay, but anyway, Myers-Briggs, and it's basically a personality test that you can do. There are a lot of those online, so you can go and check them out. And in the MBTI test, I finally figured out like why am I a certain way. So I am an ENFP, the champion or the campaigner, and why am I like that person is like it was a big thing for me to realize that, okay, there's actually an explanation to things that I do. So I might not be the most detail oriented. Again, law does require detail orientedness. I might not be that person, but I am very bubbly. I'm very social. I love to hang out with people. I'm the kind of person who always picks people up and says like, yes, let's continue, let's do it. And like I could use and build on my strengths and not on the parts that I felt like I need to develop in myself. I need to be more detail oriented. I don't need to be more detail oriented. I think it's like you should always build on your strengths, not on your weaknesses. Then there is the Johari window, which is basically some qualities that might be, they're open to yourself. So information about you that both you and others know. There might be blind to self, so information about you that you don't know, but others do know about you. There's the hidden self, information about you that you know, but others don't know. And then there's the unknown self, so information about you that neither you nor others know. So these are just some tools to use to know yourself, to learn more about yourself. It was a massive thing for me to be 20 and do this, because later on it encouraged me to do the move to say I will not become a lawyer. Okay, maybe human rights lawyer in the future, but I will not become a lawyer right now. I will actually start my own company. I will do it with some people that I love, that I met through in AIESEC, and that I want to keep in my family, and that actually I'm also engaged to, so I'm going to keep them for a longer time. And but yeah, some people that I really trust and value that I want to keep in my life. Then the second part, know others, very important. So in Finland, or not in Finland, let's start with a bigger picture. Humans everywhere in the world have a natural disposition to trust and to judge other people's trustworthiness. And this is something that we do all the time. Camilla was talking about this as well, like how do you trust others and how do you build that trust? And as you can see in this chart, trust in others in Europe is very high in Scandinavia overall, but in Finland and in Denmark as well. So this is about trusting others. So trusting that other people can be trusted. And this is, I guess, a big part, a big factor behind all this like happiness happiness research. So when you know that you can trust other people, you know that you can trust the governmental institutions, you know that you can trust the processes will work for you, and you're not always going with this kind of like, can this person be trusted, but you go with like an open heart and open mind to say like, I trust this person, I do trust you. So this is a very, very big factor, and I feel like it has been a tremendous realization for me, and also from Camilla's presentation. 20 to 30% of all the jobs are never advertised anywhere, because people are hiring based on trust. They're hiring people they know. And this is a very, very massive factor. So knowing others means network, meet people, and meet people outside of your faculty. And for me, this was the biggest reason, or one of the biggest things in AIESEC, was that I could actually meet people from all over the world. No matter where I go, I always have someone. I always know an AIESECer everywhere. But also in my current group of friends, we are people from different faculties, from different backgrounds. We study different things. In the company that I just started, I'm a big believer in diversity. We come from very different backgrounds. We come from very different study lines. And this is what makes us a winning team, because we have very different qualities. We have very different skill sets. If we all would come from the same background, say like law, we would probably be really good at that, but we wouldn't be necessarily really good at, for example, running a business or, innovating or some other things that are not necessarily taught in the law school. So whether you like it or not, we are human beings, and we really trust each other, and we build on that trust. And that is why it's super, super crucial that you know people and you spend a lot of time networking outside of your own study field as well. These are some of the people that I know. So people that I have in my network, and they're just some pictures from my AIESEC years. Most maybe remarkable thing is that I've changed my hair color a million times over the past 10 years. But yeah, some people that I really know, some of them are my closest friends, some of them moved abroad, some of them I've done business with, some of them I've recruited, some of them I've started a company with. Some of them I've placed in a new job in another organization. And this is definitely the biggest part. When I was checking into this session, I was so excited, like, oh my God, like it feels like I'm in AIESEC again. There's so many people from all over the world, and like knowing yourself, a big part of it is that you see another person and you meet them, and you truly meet them, you truly listen, and you truly try to understand where they're coming from, and understand the background, understand the social construct they've been living in, the social reality they have, and truly listen and try to just meet them with an open heart and open mind. And this is the beauty of AIESEC, at least for me personally, that I just feel so much more richer having this experience and meeting all these people. It makes world a really, really fantastic place when you know that people in the end everywhere are kind of similar and wonderfully different. So my last part, know yourself, know others, and build a winning team. We all need to belong. We all have this urgent, this sense of belonging. We need to be part of some community. Like Camilla was asking in the beginning of her session, like, what is the community that you belong in? We all have that need. We really need it. And this, as I mentioned, this world is so complex. The challenges are so complex. The world is so fantastically diverse and weird place, and there's so many weird things happening that if you don't have that community, if you don't have that winning team around you, things might get very heavy. So having a team where you have the basic pillars of diversity to make sure that you get different ideas in all the time. You have the trust, so you have the common trust towards each other, and you have the psychological safety. Those teams are high performing. And I encourage you to find your community right now, maybe in AIESEC, and later in life, in the working life too, to really focus on or spend time on finding the right place where you feel psychologically safe, where you feel like you can trust other people, and where you feel like the team is diverse enough to create something fantastic. I can't address this probably enough. I've been very lucky to work with very diverse teams, teams that where I've been able to trust people who come from various different backgrounds, no matter like their age, no matter their like ethnicity or language or whatever. And we've had to work in English, which is no one's first language, and still build amazing trust where you know that you would give your life to this person and you know that you feel very safe around them. It's the biggest thing you can ever do. But before you can find that winning team for yourself, you need to know yourself. You need to know your own skills. You need to know your own weaknesses and strengths, because only then you know who you need around you to complement those things that might not be so strong for you, and how you can complement others. All right, thank you. I think I took also a little bit longer, but yeah, thank you so much. It was great to be here. I feel truly honored and humbled to be here.
Thank you, Sophia. It's always so inspiring to hear about your journey in AIESEC. And maybe right now we don't know, like I said, don't know who am I, what am I going to do, but maybe AIESEC is helping us in that journey to get there, and hopefully we will. So thank you for sharing, but I will just maybe take 10 minutes. If people have questions for you, are you okay with staying for 10 more minutes? All right, so if anyone has questions, please let's have an open discussion. You can take your questions with our speakers, open your mic, or ask on chat. Okay, if no one is starting, I have a question. This is for Camilla, maybe. Like you said before, that some people used to question that, okay, there is no money, then why are you still doing it? I sometimes feel that same kind of fear. Not fear, I would say an inhibition. Okay, what should I do next? So where did you get the confidence maybe, or that inspiration to still keep going? And I know you said, it's also Sophia said, it's important to do what we love. But
Right.
where does that confidence come in from?
Thank you for your question. I think the volunteering ongoingly came partly because I got so bitten by it. It was kind of like a drug. Like, I really want to be part of a community where I feel safe and I feel like myself, because I always been not the only one, but minority in a working space where I didn't feel included. And I really needed that other environment where I felt, hey, we can party, we can be friends, just like, Sophia saying that it's AIESEC spirit, but I was in another, volunteer groups. I think another way was that when they continuously, not denied, but it's just hard to break through the job environment. You have a communication marketing background, so do I. And it's hard to work in a country where you need to also know the local language fluently. So you need to continuously build up on those experiences, because that makes you you. And then suddenly at some point in life, you can either start your consulting, or then you join a company where these experiences really serve you. That's the second thing. And the third thing is, I was just very lucky to have resources and time. I'm 37, I still don't have kids. So I wanted to do everything in my life that I want to live it fully and try everything new, because I was so limited until age 18. No hobbies, not allowed to do sports, not allowed to do many things, because growing up as a girl in an environment, very limited. So I had to catch up with cultural capital, with social capital, with the network. So once you are like out there and have that freedom, to hell with what people think. I belong already in this space. I belong in Denmark. I belong in Uzbekistan. Like, everywhere you becomes like your playground. And when you're a volunteer, just one community makes you feel like, yes, I can do this. So you don't need to be crazy like me to do it so many years, but just try to be intentional and make it work for you. I think that's my biggest advice. Don't get a burnout of volunteering. It happened to me. So.
Yeah, and I would also say, I think Lynn said it very well here in the chat, that the pros are weighed out the cons, learn many new aspects. I feel like when I was in AIESEC, it was like taking an MBA, because you learn so many things from different aspects, and you learn from marketing and sales. And I only realized those later on, and especially on the leadership part. And then becoming an entrepreneur later is taking taking an MBA on steroids. So they're kind of building on each other. It's a crazy ride, but it's and as like Camila said, like you really need to be also super careful with your own mind and how you will survive the pressure and stuff.
Yeah. There is one question on this chat which says, can you both, Camilla and Sophia, share one memorable story as an AIESECer? So Camilla, although you weren't an AIESECer, people already feel like you are. That's a win there. But
Yeah.
maybe Sophia can share one.
Oh my God. I don't know. There are so many. I can't say on top of my mind. There were great moments, and I feel like maybe some of the conflicts that we had and how we solved them were the most memorable because they taught me the most about like life and people and leadership. But I would say that one memory is when we were in AIESEC International, so a conference that gathers all the AIESEC countries, and you have, I think we had like 120 AIESEC countries back then, and we had all the leaders of 120 AIESEC countries in Moscow in a hotel room, and we had like very emotional session about the purpose of AIESEC and why are we there. And then at the end, we started singing all of us together the song "I Believe I Can Fly." It was very tacky, but at the same time, it made me cry. It was, I'm there with people from Algeria and from Bolivia, and we're all gathered for the same purpose. And that's the moment when I truly felt like the world needs this. Like the times we live in, like AIESEC is more relevant than ever. We need to build bridges rather than burn them all the time. Yeah, that was probably one of the most memorable moments.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I really miss this. I mean, since ever I've joined AIESEC, then the pandemic came in, and I mean, even my team, we always say that if only we could come together and have those meetings, meet the other teams, but it's always online now.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully things will get better. But
I would say to all who is listening, we need your volunteer voices out there on Twitter, on Instagram, and just hashtagging, because United Nations Volunteers is building up awareness that volunteers are a stakeholder in reaching SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So don't shy away of what you're doing every single day in and out, and bring your focus to volunteering community in your country, in your hometown. It's just so remarkable how much we need to really be active change makers ourselves, just to push volunteers to be recognized, to get more funding, and also get more, even registration is not the right for every country. It's only one volunteer organization in Uzbekistan, one, because of the law has just been passed. So if you make that more happen, it will increase other countries to adopt more volunteering cultures like that. Cheers.
one more question from Tina. How do you both react to or handle limitations, either situations or people that sometimes limit us? Tina, do you want to clarify the question?
There's also one question from Karshi that sent it to me, so I just put it. It's a question to after. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, of like initiating change, striving, finding yourself and exploring identity. I mean, identity basically is something living, it's flexible, it's changing, it's a process. So it's not something stick and stable like till we die, but like to become always a better version of ourselves and to live just all the aspects that you both mentioned. Sometimes either it's people or it's also situations that limit us. So I was just curious how you handle those situations, or how you react or engage with people who put limits to yourself in that way.
It's a really good question. I think at least personally, I get better the older I get. So I feel like as you said, like identity and being the best version of yourself is in constant change, and it has taken many years to really shape who I am, and I've at least had a lot of limitations or kind of pressure from my family and from certain, like, you know, society to be something. And I think, like, at least personally for me, like, it's not so much about like you know who you are. I don't know who I am. I still like have zero idea, but I have a little bit better idea than when I was 20, and it was about like setting those ground values that you have. And when I realized that one of my ground values was freedom, it changed a lot of things. I changed the relationship. I changed my relationship with some of my immediate family, because I knew that, okay, like, freedom is so important for my happiness that I can't ignore it. I need to be true to that value. But then there are a lot of other shaky values where I still don't know, like, what do I think about them, and so on. So some of those, like, it's very difficult. I don't know, but it's like, I think it's like about finding the core values first and then being true to those core values. And then anyway, limitations, they're always there. And I think it makes also life very exciting and interesting when you do realize that, okay, like, maybe I wasn't true to myself, and then you need to steer your path the other direction. Everything is meant to be. I think it's just about trusting the process. Very philosophical. Camilla, maybe you have a better answer.
No, I like how you put things in perspective, Sophia. I think we learn from each other answers, and I think one of the answers, Tina, you strike me as a very humble person, and you know, we're all finding ourselves also in COVID. We maybe have also new identities, but what I've learned, we learn about each other, through others. While interacting with others, you learn how it is to be a human being. Like I said, I grew up in a very hostile environment towards any point of view, towards having an opinion, towards having hair that I could cut or I could not cut. I couldn't do anything to my body. So how can you have an identity where someone owns your identity? So when you come out of this space, or you find out that, okay, interacting with Finnish mentors, Danish mentors, teachers, they give you more trust than you trust yourself. So once you are in Finland, you are in an incubator. I mean, it's unique space, because in Finland, people trust so much that you got hold of your shit, to be saying in a way that you got hold of your stuff in such a good way. They don't doubt that you're professional. They don't doubt that you have a passion and ambition. So I think as long as you just have a one nudge and don't listen to your imposter syndrome, but always throw yourself out there, the serendipity is coming out and solving your issues. And if you screw up, say, I've learned something out of this. So that is my way of doing and acting. Like, yes, I have that a number, like some kind of fear, but I know that the universe got my back, because I come with peace. I come with good intentions to help, to show enthusiasm, to, be part of something good. So I can't screw up, or like that there will be reciprocity. So I think, again, I want to remind that sometimes people from outside trust you more than you trust yourself. And just work on that and listen to your voice and trust that others will pick you up. So
good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. There is one question which is posted by Camilla. Is this the one which was shared?
It's from Karshi class. So Karshi class is written to me, so I'm just reposting it so it's visible to you.
So this is for Sophia. You said trust other people. Do you think, is it true to trust people in another country without any doubt?
Good question. I think it is the only right thing to do. I personally feel like the way we meet other people, they will meet us the same way. So if we meet them with trust, if we meet them with good intentions, they will most probably meet us with good intentions and with trust. I feel like our former president in Finland had a really good saying that I believe in many ways. If you're in a situation where you can go two paths, so either the path of trust or the path of the other way, he said that if we can't know for sure what will happen, let's assume that all will be well. And I
Mm,
really like that.
that's so
If
nice.
if we have the way of like not trusting or trusting, I think it does not benefit us not to trust. We should always assume that all will go well.
Can you repeat that sentence?
If we can't know for sure what will happen, let's assume that all will be well. I think it's a very beautiful quote.
It is. That's so much also connected to how you work with dignity, that you recognize that other people have good intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes, there is a nice Hindi saying on this, Hamesha achhai ko dekho, always look at the good in others.
Yeah.
I think there are different versions of this, maybe
yeah,
everywhere.
It's probably a very universal thing.
it
Yeah.
is.
But okay, we have one more question, which says, Sophia and Camilla, what do you recommend to young people on taking risks and benefiting opportunities?
Well, taking risks. So, well, I started taking risks quite early when I was 15. One of the first risks for me was I didn't speak much English, but I had an American teacher in my hometown, and I needed to talk to her. And I was like, damn, I can't really, put a sentence together. So what do you do? So I wrote down like 3 phrases on a sheet of paper like this. I called her up. I was in car sharing at the time. I called her up and I started reading lines like, hello, Ruth, how are you? That was my risk, that, okay, she either will drop the phone, she'll probably think, okay, what are you talking about? She'll hear me reading from the page, when it's not real. Or then she'll just say, don't call me again. I mean, I was so happy she gave me a phone number. So what worked, it actually worked to my benefit that she invited me over after. And even though she didn't teach in my school, we made friends. So those risks are in our minds. And the risks are not really out there as risks unless they hurt you, unless you make somebody sick, unless you're hurt or like upset someone, or put somebody else in danger, including animals. Okay. So in that sense, whatever you put your mind to, if it's got good intentions, I would rather say make mistakes by doing good. That's not my line. It's a line of my mentor, one of the founders of Global Dignity. So if you can't create an opportunity, or you can't see an opportunity, create one. And if somebody catches you doing, they say, hey, I wanted to do good to this community or to these young people or to somebody specific. And opportunities are coming one after another. Once you already grabbed one, or someone told you, hey, this is a nice opportunity, so don't shut it down. We have a lot of naysayers. Even my own nephew, he just shuts down every idea I give him. So he's just a teenager now. But yeah, if you have one person believes in you, always go to those people who kind of, give you nice positive feedback, and don't take it for granted. So those are the ones that's gonna, get your back. And take more risks, please.
Yeah, I don't I think you said it very well. I think maybe the one advice that I realized now, again with my very limited experience on this planet, but is that it has to feel right. If it doesn't feel right, then don't go for it. It's but if it gives you the nice tingly feeling, and you don't really know how to do it, or you're not sure, just go for it. You will figure it out later. Most of things in this life are not rocket science. But as Camila said, life is risk anyway. It's very risky. Falling in love is very risky. You might get hurt, or exposing your heart to other people, telling them something. It's always we're constantly in these places of risk. But as Camila said, if you have good intentions, if you just want to do good and it feels good, go for it. And anyway, life also becomes very much more interesting once you do some mistakes. No one would write a good memory of themselves by not doing any mistakes in their life.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Always good stories to tell your grandchildren. This
exactly.
Is not Yes, but thank you so much, ladies. I think okay, Larry has a comment. I think I'd like to take a calculated risk. Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
That's clever. That comes with experience already.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just do it, you know, it's like in the spur of a moment, you know, where do you network? Where do you pitch? You can even pitch in a toilet, you know. So what was that advertisement? AIESEC in a toilet advertisement, you see.
Yeah,
So opportunities come from all sorts, but yeah, great.
exactly.
Awesome.
I am really sorry, everyone. We have gone way beyond time. Either I'm like really the worst moderator ever, or this topic is so inspiring and important. I think we all want to keep going, but I think it's the second one. But just to end it, I will share one link and I will share my screen at this point. I will ask everyone to answer what is the one thing that you are taking back from this event. You can add it to this link that I have shared on the chat. And maybe the school from Uzbekistan there, guys, you can even open your mic and let us know, because there are so many of you over there. But
Yeah.
others, please put in your words on this link.
Yeah, while we are doing it on the phone, so Zuhra and the class of Uzbek Karshi class, do you want to say your feedback out loud, because you may not reach the mobile? So you just unmute yourself.
Or everyone who is on their phone can also go on this link, menti.com, and use the code which is on the screen, or just go on the link that I have shared on the chat. Okay, there are some very nice words already. Fantastic. I will take a video of this popping up.
Yeah.
Thank you for organizing this amazing webinar. And our students wish to speak about the feedback about this event. Please, Sultan.
Hello for everyone. Well, my name is Sultan, and I want to thank you for everything that you gave me. And personally, I can say that I got lots of motivation and spirit to study abroad. And currently, I have a huge plans. And one day, I wish to be an AIESECer and to see you all in person.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sultan. Awesome. Anybody else?
Anyone else? Hello, my name is Gulnaza, and I want to thank you for an amazing and useful meeting. And we got a lot of useful information and motivation from you. And thank you for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing also the words over here. I think I also resonate with most of them on the screen. Okay, there are more popping up. Fantastic. Yes, but thank you, Camilla and Sophia, for joining us. This was a really inspiring session. We went way, way over time. Many people have left, but I think we are still at a win-win situation because we have the incredible class there.
I know. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining. It's such a new experience to connect, you know, small town with a global community, and you have no idea how much impact it can create. Just one conversation. So thanks for everyone, and thank you again, Madhu.
Thank you. Hopefully we will see them soon in Finland.
I know. Welcome to Finland. Yes. Studying, exchange, travel. Yes. Hopefully all the opportunities and scholarships will come around. Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Bye-bye. Have a great evening.
Thank you all. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.